from one of the most decorated bodybuilder caught using steroids to achieve his physique.
You imagine you're paying an athlete to look a certain way, and there's a dark side.
To the last of the golden era legends admitting it wasn't all glitz and glam.
I have to be quite truthful with you. I only use anabolic. I'm not gonna have to deny it because all the other Mr. Olympia contenders.
Here are top bodybuilders whose career heavily relied on steroids and the sometimes deadly cost of those superhuman bodies. Flex Wheeler says steroids were an open secret in the sport. Flex Wheeler was once the undisputed face of bodybuilding because of his ginormous size. And while he says he can never condone the use of performance-enhancing drugs, he's admitted to using them throughout his career.
It's the right thing to do. Me, professionally, no, I don't speak about what I did because I understand that I have the power of people who follow me. So if I was to sit there and tell them exactly what I did, I mean, unfortunately, there's going to be some kids who are going to go run out and try to do it immediately thinking it can be the next Flex Wheeler. I have to take responsibility.
You have to remember, though, Flex's career started in 1983. He became a sensation almost overnight, winning intense bodybuilding competitions such as Mr. California, Mr. Olympia, the Arnold Classic, multiple Grand Prix, and the Night of Champions competition.
That was the most perfect physique I'd ever seen up close in my life.
The first steroid that he used was Dianabol, and Flex remembered gaining almost 30 pounds from it. He also claimed that while everyone claimed steroid use was cheating, everybody used them anyway. Flex even claimed that a senior bodybuilder once told him to keep going when he complained of what the drugs were doing to his body.
Either using Synthol or that you use Synthol. Is that true? People trolling you about that?
You know, I tried it to see what it would be like and everything like that.
Flex's physique grew 10 times its original size from when he first debuted. Arnold Schwarzenegger called him the best bodybuilder he'd ever seen, and the praise just kept coming. But behind the scenes, Flex was suffering. He claimed he couldn't move his body anymore without his muscles hurting.
I think I need overall fullness and thickness everywhere. I need to bring up my calves. I need a wider back. I need a more broader chest. And from there on, to give myself a more front lateral V taper. And then after that, just add density all over the place until, you know.
Not just that, but doctors warned Flex that his rampant steroid use was leading to irreversible kidney damage. They warned him that at the rate he was going, he wouldn't make it another day.
I probably started younger than everybody else, but then I started younger competing also. I started competing when I was 13 years old. So from 13 to 19, I competed in tons of AAU shows. So I started building a foundation, and I used sports technology drugs to enhance my physique, not to build my physique.
After a devastating diagnosis, Flex quietly exited the bodybuilding scene in 2003. He did make a comeback at Mr. Olympia in 2017, but with a much bulkier physique. This time, though, he finished at 15th place.
When I found out I had the disease in '99, it was so rare at that time before they even confronted me and told me about it.
In 2019, though, Flex underwent a right leg amputation just below the knee because of health complications. You can still find Flex at the gym where he now works as a fitness coach, and he even has his own line of supplements. But the bodybuilding world is way behind him. Rich Piana's tragic end is a cautionary tale for young bodybuilders. Rich Piana is one of the most familiar faces in bodybuilding history, but not because of his wins. If anything, Rich's real achievement was his cultural impact and his openness when it came to discussing steroid use in the sport. He began training as an 11-year-old. His mother was also a competitive bodybuilder and would take Rich with her to the gym. Soon enough, Rich went ahead with his own regimen and started competing on a national level. Some of his wins include NPC titles and Mr. California titles. He's competed in several IFBB competitions and done well for himself, but nothing compared to some of the greats like Ronnie Coleman or Jay Cutler. Rich's real fame came much later when he started his own YouTube channel. Pretty soon, he grew a massive cult following because of his content. Besides everyday motivational videos, Rich was one of the very few athletes who openly admitted to using steroids.
You gotta be honest with you.
While Rich has always advocated against steroids, he claimed he didn't regret his decision to use them. Not exactly. According to the former athlete, he was competing at a level where you had to use steroids, otherwise you'd get blown off stage.
But if you go on a show that it's okay to take steroids, and you take steroids, that's not cheating, right? I mean, you're not doing anything you're not supposed to do, you know, but are you cheating morally? You know, because bodybuilding is about lifting weights. That's what it's about. It's about pumping iron. It's not about injecting, but over the years, it's actually became more about injecting than lifting weights.
Rich even offered to curate safe steroid regimens for people who would use them despite his advice. This obviously earned him a lot of criticism, but Rich claimed it was better than letting young bodybuilders down a dark and dangerous path.
And the problem nowadays is it's almost like young kids join a gym, and when they join the gym, they buy the steroids.
Doctors had alerted Rich of the side effects long-term steroid use had on his body. In 2017, Rich collapsed and was placed in a medically induced coma. He passed away just a few weeks after. Jay Cutler blamed the IFBB's competitive nature for steroid use in the industry. You've probably heard of Ronnie Coleman, the undisputed king of bodybuilding. Well, the only time Ronnie broke a sweat during a competition was when he was up against Jay Cutler. To date, Jay has an unbeatable record in Mr. Olympia history, but that didn't come naturally.
But I don't really regret anything. I thought that was the right age for me to start. I was more focused. I always tell everyone it wasn't about the body, it was about the mind at first. Progression of the body, that's really what kept me motivated to continue.
Jay's goal was to become the biggest competitor in bodybuilding history. He stunned crowds at Mr. Olympia, earning back-to-back titles, winning against some of the greats like Coleman and Dexter Jackson. He's won the Arnold Classic 3 times in 2002, 2003, and 2004. But controversy had always followed his career. In 2001, he finished second to Coleman at Mr. Olympia, but was almost banned from the competition entirely after testing positive for banned substances. Jay sued and had his second-place finish reinstated. Skeptical, and Jay eventually revealed that, yes, he had used PEDs in the past. According to the former bodybuilder, there was a time when everyone, even those who said they weren't, were on PEDs.
That makes sense.
I would say that it's literally impossible for someone to win the Olympia as a natural.
Yeah, for the current.
Tristan Lee was told he was too short to be a bodybuilder. Tristan Lee has been open and vulnerable about his time and experience as one of the world's youngest bodybuilders. In 2017,
is there anything in bodybuilding that you consider cheating?
No, I mean, everyone's looking for that edge. You know, there are steroids involved in the sport, okay, in bodybuilding, obviously. And that's the problem with our sport, and that's why it hasn't got accepted by a lot of society, because they look at the bodybuilder and they say, oh, steroids. But they don't understand what actually goes into the sport, okay? You do what you do to be the best in what you do. You do what you do to win. If you want to call that cheating, fine, but I have the edge. And that's why I'm the best.
18 years old, Tristan stunned everyone when he guest posed at a Toronto bodybuilding contest. He was only 5'3", maybe the shortest participant there, but his physique matched people who were twice his age and hovered over him. Tristan was a hit on social media platforms, gaining close to 3 million followers on Instagram and over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. His content is usually...
Didn't someone say I had flat biceps? Who said that? I don't know. Who said I had flat biceps? I don't know. I just gotta check to make sure, you know? I don't know. I'm checking. You need flat. I don't know. I'm checking.
Prepping, posing styles, and general workout regimens. But Tristan's also been honest about the dark side of extreme bodybuilding, especially at such a young age. He claimed that his obsession
in bodybuilding. We talk about mass. We talk about size that makes people stop and stare. But when you talk about the boss of the big guys, there's only one name. Paul Dillett.
It's hard to even explain.
Being healthy became dangerous when his body fat percentage dropped to 3%. This resulted in some serious health complications, which he claimed ruined his life. Tristan was eventually able to overcome with professional help and a renewed mindset. 7% body fat and gaining 40 pounds. Today, Tristan is living large in Los Angeles as an influencer and entrepreneur. He's currently working on his own fitness brand, Chimera Nutrition, which he co-founded with his brothers Tyler and Braden. Tristan's still active on social media.
Unfortunately, something shocking happened at the 1994 Arnold Classic.
My heart stopped beating for a minute, for 1 minute, yeah. I was so dry they couldn't even put the IV needle into my vein.
His time to working out, but he's also cautious of the risks involved. He continues to advocate for safe practices for young fans who want to be like him. Unlike Tristan, this next bodybuilder did a 180 on his career. Former mini Mr. Olympia doesn't work. Despite being on the cover of magazines at age 12, Vince Poppleton decided to trade his 5 minutes of Hollywood fame for a more sustainable career. Born in 2002 in Omaha, Nebraska, Vince is the son of bodybuilder Bill Poppleton.
The sky's the limit for me right now in terms of how big I can get. I'm not putting any barriers in how big I am going to get, so I'm just taking it one contest at a time.
At the age of 10, Vince was a regular at the gym, working out for at least 2 hours a day and maintaining a strict diet. At just 12 years old, Vince won the title of Mini Mr. Olympia in 2012. He said that for him to push his body to the max, but this worried some medical experts. But then, Vince's physical therapist was able to show that the young bodybuilder's regimen was actually sustainable and suited for his age. Career was on a high, but by his mid-teens, he decided to step back. According to Vince, who now works as an operations engineer in Phoenix, he just grew out of that phase. Vince graduated from high school with honors, studied at Grand Canyon College for...
I won nationals at 233 pounds. It took a few years to figure out that, you're going to need to be bigger to be a pro. And it took a couple years to get up to where I was in the, mid-250s, competing as a professional. And as soon as I did that, my physique was just fine and did well. Unfortunately, it was right after that I basically got sick and came down with my kidney problems and
just never looked back. Vince's story is a success story through and through. He went from chasing one passion to another. Today, while he still maintains an active lifestyle, the only weights he lifts are golf clubs. Now, Mini Monster was considered a little too good for his age by critics. Social services believed Giuliano Stroi didn't have a normal childhood. By age 2, Giuliano Stroi was a regular at the gym. His father, Julian, a former gymnast and boxer.
I think people took and ran with the gear as if that's the magical answer. When back in the day, like everything for us was built around the training. Training came, and the gear was something that there's no question it helped. There's no question it worked, but nobody was relying on the gear and, the training, having the training be an afterthought. I think it was the other way around. We all trained our asses off, and the gear was a little more of an afterthought.
Realized his son had more fun deadlifting than playing with toys. Giuliano's first record came at the age of 5 when he set the record for the fastest 10-meter hand walk while carrying a 10-pound medicine ball between his legs in just 11.25 seconds. But his six-pack at such a young age soon became controversial. In 2012, social services in Romania temporarily removed Giuliano and his brother, Claudio, from their parents' care, worried that they were being robbed of a normal childhood. Julian was able to prove that while Giuliano did follow an intim routine, he was still allowed to be a kid. A medical test proved that both brothers were in good physical and emotional health and were allowed to return to their parents. Started a YouTube channel called Giuliano Stroi Official, which has over 150 million views. You can even find him on TikTok, where he has close to 500,000 followers and 10 million likes. Today,
I could take anyone and deliver the best result imaginable, but they have to be with me on the same page.
Giuliano and his brother have pivoted from bodybuilding to boxing, following their father's footsteps. His social media posts show him his time between Romania, where he lives with his family,